It's kind of hard to believe Kotonoha built me up like this in Natsuki's mind. Personally, I don't see myself as anyone important, but hearing her talk like this about how she feels around me.
I was always afraid to go and talk to you. Even though Koto made you sound like a great guy, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not only that, but even though she's not around anymore, a part of me felt like it was wrong for me to talk to you.
Wrong?
You never saw the way her face lit up when she talked about you, Hallie. Even if she never said it to me out loud, I think it was kind of obvious. She was head over heels for you.
Me? I feel like I just got stabbed in the chest. After all this time? You're saying someone as beautiful and classy as her had feelings for some pathetic loser like me?
You're not a loser, Hallie! Stop saying that about yourself! It's like I said before. Any girl that says you're creepy or whatever is only doing that to make themselves feel better. They didn't know how much of a great guy they were passing up on when Kotonoha loved you, Hallie. She's not the only one.
I feel myself erupt into tears all this time and I never knew it.
That's why I felt awful even thinking about going up to you. No matter what I did, all I could think about was you. Hallie, I'm crazy for you, but even if Koto isn't here anymore, it's not like I wanted to steal you away from her. It never felt right to me, so I couldn't just...
Yuri's words popped in my head. I try my best to calm myself down, but I don't have much success. Still, I think she needs to hear this as much as I did. I shakily tell her more or less what Yuri said to me. You wouldn't be stealing me. It wouldn't be an insult to her memory. Same way she would have wanted me to move on. I think she would have wanted that for you too.
Huh?
You were her friend, Natsuki. She knew you wouldn't have been trying to steal me from her. She wouldn't want you to be as miserable as I was without her.
You mean she would have been okay with what's going on between us?
I think so. If anything, I think she'd be happy knowing she brought us together.
You know, Amy used to make fun of me over the way I look over at you. She'd tell me you and I would be the same gloomy couple together, get married and have a ton of gloomy children.
Both of us aren't crying so much anymore. Both of our faces turned crimson at that little revelation, however. Thinking about it, my first impression of Natsuki was that she hated me or couldn't care less what happens to me. All this time, I was totally wrong.
When the teacher said you died, it actually hurt me inside. I couldn't understand why, though. Even thinking about it made my chest hurt. That's when Amy stepped in and told me about this silly ritual. After I failed to save you a few times, I went back to her and wrote whatever she told me in that notebook in case I forgot anything.
She reaches over to feel for the notebook right beside her.
When I finally questioned what I was feeling, she told me it was because I loved you. Back then, I didn't believe her at first, but after everything we've been through, I know it. Knowing that you did the same thing for me, and that you're so willing to keep showing up to make things right, it makes me glad knowing there's somebody out there that cares so much about me.
After calming down, I get back up and make my way over to Natsuki. As I'm doing so, she's started crying again. The reality smacks me harder this time. We really are in the same boat right now. We're trapped in some endless loop of bad decisions and suffering, all because we wanted to save someone. Each other, no less. I crouched down and met her at eye level.
I know I said I hated you before, but I don't. I love you, Hallie. I honest to God love you. I mean it. I'm crazy for you. You're seriously all I have right now. I can't trust Amy. I can't trust Dad. Mom is gone.
I brush away the part of her hair that's in her eyes. Those striking pink eyes look up at me, stained and glossy with tears. Natsuki. She tries to stop crying the more she looks at me. Those eyes. I have no clue how much pain and suffering they've witnessed. Probably just as much as my own eyes have, if not more. Upon looking into my own eyes, hers soften and she looks at me with a sense of yearning and bliss. As if our bodies are acting on their own, our faces draw closer until our lips meet. At this moment, it's as though all time stops just for us. Words can't begin to describe what I'm feeling right now. I can only imagine it's the same for her at this very moment. We pull away after what seems like an eternity and look at each other once again. She gently caresses my face, running her hand to my lips. She smiles at me and starts giggling to herself. What's so funny?
Nothing. I've just never had a boyfriend before.
Oh, well,
Seriously? Don't tell me after all that, you're just going to...
No, I've just never had a girlfriend before.
Not even come to know her?
I never told her how I felt, so we were never officially a couple. There was this girl named Sakura in junior high, but she just led me on, so she doesn't count either. That's kind of why it's so weird hearing you call me your boyfriend now.
Well, get used to it, because you're going to hear it a lot from me.
We both laugh as we hold each other close. We're both caught off guard when we hear someone else laughing along with us. Someone very familiar. I look behind me and see Amy right at the stairs with a bat behind her back. Wait, those eyes. Amy's eyes aren't green, so what's...
I wonder, just how many times has it been now? Tell me, Hallie, just how long have we been at this game? A week, a month, a millennium? Amy, what are you doing here? Wait, why do you sound like that?
No, that's not Amy. I know that voice anywhere. You're... Tarankos.
I will ask you again, Hallie. Do you know what it is you desire? Do you still not understand? No matter how many times you try to turn the hands of fate, you will always arrive at the same result. That was the lesson I intended to teach in this ritual. Clearly you both failed to grasp the concept. Where did you get off telling us that? If you both still fail to understand this after having gone through it so many times, then your suffering will continue infinitely.
We both get up and back away. I keep Natsuki's hand in mine as we both look at Amy together.
Oh, right, what have you done with Amy? I have merely commandeered this vessel for the time being. You should be honored, for it is not too often that I grace others with my presence in their home dimension. Not the ideal choice, but I will do what I must to ensure transgressors like yourselves are punished.
So, in other words, you're just using Amy as a human meat puppet right now.
If one were to put it so crudely, then yes, that is correct. I cannot leave my prison, but I can borrow a vessel in times like this. And what do you mean by that? Do you truly fail to understand what is taking place here, even after I stated it as clear as day? Very well. You have both broken the rules of this curse, and you know too much. Now I must deliver a swift punishment and quell your fruitless rebellion.
What are you going to do? Maybe Amy caught me off guard before with that surprise bat to the head, but I'm ready this time.
Are you seriously going to beat up Amy?
Ugh, yeah, I know it's not right to ever lay your hands on a woman and all, but ugh. Okay, fine, even if it's Tarankos, it's still Amy.
Don't worry, Mr. Gentleman. I'll just have to give them a piece of my mind personally.
Wait, are you sure?
I might be little, but I'm scrappy. How amusing. You underestimate me, Natsuki.
Amy raises his hand and then makes a crushing motion. Natsuki suddenly starts crying out in pain, tearing her hand from mine. She holds onto her head with both hands as she cries out in excruciating pain, falling to her knees. Natsuki! Panicked, I crouched down to her.
My dad!
No need to bother. Tarankos releases his grip and Natsuki topples over, gasping for breath.
I made sure he would not interfere. He still lives if that is your concern. He will merely be sleeping a bit longer than he anticipated.
What did you do to her?
One of my favorite curses. I was simply delivering to her a bout of mental torture to make her think twice about her actions. As I said, you underestimate me. Just because I'm not in my own body right now does not mean I am lacking in my abilities. On the contrary, Amy still has latent magical abilities that I am able to tap into.
You're insane!
I prefer the term creative.
I take Natsuki up in my arms and try to help her back up. She seems to be doing better now. She props herself up against the wall as she looks at the possessed Amy.
What were you expecting me to do, Harley? Allow the both of you to run away to live in an endless summer of freedom and making love endlessly. What?
The fuck? Is that Amy's perverted mind corrupting you, or are you just as fucked up as she is?
My apologies. Perhaps you are right, and her quirks are seeping through. No matter. My point still stands, Harley. And now, your rebellion ends here.
I have to think fast. If only I could reset the loop somehow. Maybe that would give us a little bit of time. Wait, the curse will still be in effect even if I die, right? If that's the case, I've got an idea. A stupid idea, but what choice do I have? If this works, then it won't be any different from reloading a save state. I rush into the kitchen.
Harley, stop! Where are you going?
Desperate times, desperate measures. I look in the dirty dishes and pull out a metal fork. As Tarankos approaches, I go to the nearest electrical socket and stick it in. Return by death!
Hallie, no!
Natsuki's scream echoes in my head as 1,000 volts are sent coursing through my body. I can't let him hurt her. I won't. I'm sorry, Natsuki. I would love more than anything to run away with you. I'd love to be in an endless summer with you close to me. But that can't happen so long as he's got his eyes on us. Even worse, if he's following us around in Amy's body. He's right. Even in this endless summer you're proposing, Natsuki, this paradise you're thinking of will never be free. June 3rd, 2019. Damn, hope I never have to do that again. It seems like my stupid spur-of-the-moment plan worked. I wanted to keep him away from Natsuki and me, but I didn't know what else to do. Turn by death seems to be the only surefire way to wipe the slate clean. Kind of like save scumming in a video game and constantly restarting from your last checkpoint. I brush myself off and get back to my feet. Now what, though? The fact he's not above taking over a perverted girl's body to fight us is just unsettling. Damn it all. You're still struggling, I see. What? I do a total 180 and come face to face with the evil masked guy I've been seeing. Who are you? I'm merely an omen of death. What of it? If that's the case, then why are you stalking me? Isn't it obvious? You reek of death itself. The young woman told you, didn't she? The only reason she enacted the ritual the first time was because you met your demise. Yet here you are, now, walking around like a living corpse. You could say she shares the same fate thanks to you enacting the same ritual. Alright, fine, you have me on that technicality. So what then? Are you here to take my soul or something? I lack that authority. I can only act as a humble guide to lead those who are in need of accepting death. You have not accepted death. If anything, you're continuously fighting against it. You've caught my interest, young Hallie. In fact, I'm going to lend you my assistance. And how's that going to make a difference? You know more about the curse than you did before. Use your imagination. Here, allow me to give you a gentle push. I was unable to say anything further as he takes a few steps back, blending in with the shadows. As I try to go after him, I notice something on the ground where he was standing before. The hell is this? I reach down and pick it up. I inspect it. Without a doubt, Koto's phone. It is but a notation of the genuine article. I've done my best to recreate it as best as I could. I do not have the power Lord Articus has, so this is a very weak knockoff. Articus, Tarankos' brother. Do with it what you will. I will be observing and guiding you along the way. He stops talking as he vanishes into the shadows. The phone is unlocked. I should feel bad about invading someone's privacy, but considering I stole and read through Natsuki's diary, you might say I'm used to it by now. I look through the call log. The last phone call she ever made was to me. That night. That night I wish I could forget about. Wait, the text messages! I go over to the text messages next. The last ones she ever got were from a number I didn't recognize. The stalker? I look over them painstakingly, my hands trembling. I can hardly even read through most of it just because of how disgusting and pitiful it is. There's generic stuff in there like asking her how her day was, why she won't answer calls, and things like that. What really gets me, though, are the more disturbing things like asking her what kind of sexual acts she's into, if she'll show him her panties. There's even a picture of her house with the message, "You look babelicious tonight," attached to it. Blech! Makes me want to gag. Fucking pervert. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. That's when I scroll back to the very end, right on the day she died. And these were the last text messages she ever got. All from him. I'm here. I'm waiting outside for you. Where are you at? Are you talking to him again? Come on, ditch that loser already. Come on, baby girl, don't keep me waiting. I'll just go ahead and let myself in. Found you. I dropped the phone in disgust. Why didn't she ever report this to the police? She could have had a solid case against him, I know it. Then I think back to how she didn't want anyone to worry, especially her father. She made me swear I wouldn't get the police involved, and of course I honored that decision like an idiot. Now, do you see? This is what she went through all that time ago. She hardly told a single soul. She didn't even tell her parents. How sad. What's the point of showing me this aside from making me want to throw up? To make the exchange, one life must be extinguished for the other to go on. Don't you think a soul such as this is too tainted and twisted to be among the living? If I'm being honest, pieces of trash like him deserve a special place in hell. Good. I like the way you think. So what if such a life were to be extinguished?
It would be one less twisted individual out on the streets. Things would be much safer for young women everywhere, wouldn't you say? You would be a hero. You'd be avenging Kotonoha. And of course, Natsuki's life would be spared.
I can't. I know what you're saying, but I can't kill someone.
Come now. Are you saying you're completely fine with someone like this roaming the streets and potentially stalking many other young women? Just like he did with your friend?
No, that's just fucked up and wrong.
Then what's the problem? You said so yourself. There really should be a special place in hell for someone like this. Why don't you take matters into your own hands? There's no one else who can bring justice to Kotonoha now. You're the only one left. Go ahead. This is the perfect opportunity for you. Don't waste it on such trivial fears. Take it.
My mind says no, but my body says yes. As much as I try to resist, I reach back down for the phone and look at the screen once more. I can't, but I have to. As I hold on to the phone, I feel as if a light switch goes off in my head. Yeah, this son of a bitch deserves what's coming to him. I've got to be the one to do it. But how, though? I'm reminded of something Kodo told me once about a movie she saw. It was called Tainted something. Tainted Love, the other mod. Anyway, in the movie, a young woman had this guy she was interested in. He was her childhood friend and wanted to confess him. Instead, she ended up caught in this awful love triangle with his old high school crush as her love rival. It ended with that jealous love rival killing the guy and leaving him for dead on the kitchen floor. When the woman discovered him, the woman took his phone and used it to lure her out of hiding. I don't know who this guy is, but maybe that might thus safer way to flush him out. It's been a while, after all. This might be just enough to give him a good spook. I hate doing this, but I try to do my best impression of Kotonoha in this text.
Hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it?
I shouldn't be doing this, and yet this feels so fun. It isn't long before I get a response.
Who the fuck is this? How'd you get my number?
You already know who this is. I'd like to see you tonight, just for old time's sake. Meet me near the lake out by the park. Make sure you come alone. I've just been dying to see you again.
I'm just going to assume this is Joichiro.
There's no way you're her. You've got to be some fucking weirdo for pulling my leg. Wherever you are, I hope you're ready for a good ass kicking.
Ha, got him. I didn't think that'd actually work, but this guy must be as stupid as Joichiro. He very well might be. Or maybe he's just as dim as Aiko. I'm not going to question it. Time to get ready, I guess. Well, I guess we're going to murder somebody in the next episode, because that was enough to cover for this session. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you with what's probably the end of Shattered Time Rewind. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.